you. For those that are just hopping in, welcome to our session today. Feel free to hop in the chat and say hello and get comfortable for a great session ahead. I see we have a few more people hopping in. Welcome to those that are just joining us. Feel free to use the chat feature to say hello, and we'll be using that throughout our session today. Welcome to those just joining. We're happy to have you here for our VSTE session at noon. Feel free to say hello in the chat while we're getting started. We've got quite a crew today, 38 participants. This is awesome. Thanks for joining us today. Feel free to say hello and jump in and enjoy the fun. Welcome everyone. We'll be getting started in about 3 minutes. Welcome to those that are just joining us. Feel free to hop in the chat and say hello. We've got lots of familiar faces popping in the chat now. We've got more than 60 people joining in the fun today. So happy to have you all here and so thankful that you chose this session to attend at noon. I love how everyone's finishing their introductions with exclamation points. That shows you're super excited to be here. And we're excited to have you too. We've got about a minute more before we start.
And according to the almighty iPhone, it is right at noon, so we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Owens. I'm one of the committee members here at VSTE for the conference committee. And I want to introduce today Barbara Huth, who is from Common Sense Media, and she is going to be talking to us today about product that they're using there. And so I don't know, Tamara, is there anything else that I need to mention to them?
No, I'll introduce myself. My name is
Great.
Tamara Letter, and I am your moderator today. So if you have questions along the way, you're more than welcome to either type them in the chat, or you can digitally raise your hand, and we will unmute people throughout the presentation as time allows. And enjoy the presentation.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I can't believe it's already noon. Today, I'm sharing my screen right now. Can everyone see the presentation? Perfect. So we shared the link to the slides in the chat, but you can also access them at that tiny URL on the screen, and they are also in Sketch as well if you want to come back to them. This session is going to be interactive, and we're going to be exploring the site and doing some activities together. So you might want to be on the presentation link just to guide you through the activities as we do them. So just a little bit about myself. My name is Barbara Huth. I am the Regional Education Program Manager for Common Sense Education. My contact information is here. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions after this presentation, because I know a half an hour goes by really quickly. So before we get started into the content, I would just love to know where everyone's coming from in terms of the grade levels you support. So we're going to use Mentimeter, and it's a really easy tool to get a quick poll. And so you can access it several ways. You can go to the address up top, menti.com, and then the code here. I also have a direct link to the Menti on the slide, or you can take your phone and just scan it with your, scan the QR code with your camera, and the Menti question will pop up really quick on your phone as well. And you should be able to click all that apply. So if you support multiple grade bands, you should be able to click those grade bands as well. As everyone is entering those in, I'm just going to go over to the Mentimeter so I can see. Okay, great. So we have a lot of educators in the K-5 range, but we have a wide range of people here. So there's something for everyone, preschool all the way through 12th grade, and even for those folks that are post-secondary. I hope that you'll find something that you'll be able to use in your role when you leave today. So just a little background about what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I work for Common Sense, and I'm a part of Common Sense Education. You may know us about from our digital citizenship curriculum. We offer a free digital citizenship curriculum. We also rate and review education technology tools to show how they're used in the classroom. And then this year we created a new resource called WideOpenSchool, and that really helps bridge the home to school connection and provides resources that can be used for distance learning and in-person learning as well. So that's what we're going to be sharing today, is this free resource called WideOpenSchool. So if you've heard of WideOpenSchool and you've used WideOpenSchool, please feel free to share some ways that you've used it in the chat, just to show other educators how it might be used. So today we're going to be doing three main things. The first thing is I'm just going to show you WideOpenSchool, and I'm also going to just walk through some of the great resources that are available for you. Then we're going to model one of the student activities and use an education tool, Padlet, to kind of just show how we might do these activities with our students. And then finally, we're going to create a collaborative and personal activity list that you can take away from today's session and use later. So once again, WideOpenSchool is a free collection of the best learning experiences and activities, and really helps with distance learning, hybrid learning, the different models that we're experiencing right now. You can access everything at wideopenschool.org and find these free learning activities for all grades. And these resources are curated across the web. So we have over 80 partners within WideOpenSchool, and it's really just great content, building community, and really thinking about equity when we're looking at the resources that were shared within this platform. So you can see some of the partners there on WideOpenSchool. And now we're going to get into the good stuff, right? Within WideOpenSchool, we have activities for subject levels. So if you're looking for math activities, reading activities, science, social studies, you can find them in our curated content for student activities. But we also have resources for emotional well-being, fitness, so getting your students moving, arts, music, and DIY, and then even life skills. So there's a lot of different activities on this website. And so this slide has a lot of words on it. I really just put this here for you to look at later. What I'm going to do now is actually walk through where to find some of these activities and what the site looks like. So I'm going to click on this link up here for the learning resource libraries. And you're going to see that I'm on the student activities part of WideOpenSchool. And so a few things that you're going to notice a daily plan. And then this is new. I'm going to come back to this later today, but a holiday gratitude area with some activities for that. But you're also going to see those main subject level activities and then some of the other supplemental subjects that I was talking about earlier. So I'm just going to click on reading and writing just to show you what it looks like. And the first thing that you're going to notice is that there are grade levels up on the top. So right now it's highlighted that these resources are for grades 6 through 8. But let's say I support grades K to 2. I'm going to want to click on that to make sure that I'm getting the resources for my grade band. Then as you're scrolling down, you're going to see that you can select what kind of activity you're looking for. So let's say you're looking for an interactive. You can click on interactive and you'll see all of the different resources that are available for that grade band for reading and writing in this subject. And then same thing with videos, websites or apps, and so on and so forth. And there's a few key features that are really great about this. You can heart things that you like, and I'll show you where those show up later. And you can also send them. So you can send the activity to Google Classroom if you use it, to your email, or copy the link here. When you click on any of the links, it's going to take you directly to that source, unless it's a video on YouTube. And what's great if it's a video on YouTube is as long as you don't go out, and I'm going to mute him, to the YouTube, it's not going to take you to YouTube. It's just within WideOpenSchool. So you won't see like, recommended videos afterwards. It just stops when it's on the site. And then the last thing that I want to share here, let's just look if we were going to something that's not a video. So let's go to an interactive. So if I go to visit this, it's going to take me directly to the site if it's not a YouTube video. And then finally, you'll also notice that if the resource has been rated by Common Sense for our ratings and reviews, it'll also be linked. And then if we have a privacy rating, it's linked on this site as well. Okay. And then on WideOpenSchool, we do have resources in Spanish. So you'll notice right next to the student activities bar, there is a section for resources in Spanish right here. So you're going to see a lot of those student activities, same kind of thing. You can look up if there's a video or if there's an interactive, but you're also going to notice some other resources like family well-being, academic support, and things that just support families in general with distance learning. And so the link directly to the resources in Spanish is on this slide, but it's also right here on WideOpenSchool. So here is where you'll go into the activities in Spanish as well.
Barbara, there's a quick question. Do students need to have an account to access these?
So there is no login for educators, families, or students. The only thing is that I think for most of the resources, there's no login either, but some of the external resources, there may be a login. But for the most part, we try to stay away from student logins for resources that are shared on here. But in terms of Wide Open School, there is no login. Okay, any other questions before we get into an activity?
There was one more question in the chat from Pauline about taking accessibility into account for review, like read aloud for text or closed captioning for videos.
So if we're looking at like our ratings and reviews, is that what we're, let's go back to one of those. Sorry, let me get on here. So if we're going to the learning rating, it will show you kind of like the pros, the cons, the bottom line, and then it's also going to show how you can teach with the tool, what it is in general, and then is it good for learning? So it doesn't necessarily get into a lot of that. Sometimes it does if it features that, but there's not necessarily a section on that yet. I think that's something that's definitely coming. And you can see like how we rate and review here to get more of those details as well.
That's great, thank you. And there's one last question before we'll let you jump back in with the other things you want to share. Is there a way to tell in English what the Spanish resources are?
That is a great question. So you can go, like when I clicked on this, do you see that Google Translate just popped right up for me? So I can click on English and then all of these Spanish activities are now translated in English.
Great, and I think that's all the questions we had so far.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's try an activity. So we are going to actually do an activity from the emotional well-being section of Wide Open School. And it's from the Library of Congress and Jason Reynolds. And I just think it's a great time to like focus on emotional well-being for us as educators and also for our students. And this is just a really fun activity to do at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, really anytime. So we're going to watch a really quick video from Jason Reynolds, and then he's going to give us a task. And that task we are going to answer on this Padlet that's on this slide. So I'm going to click over to the video. And if for some reason you cannot hear, just let me know in the chat.
Hello, 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 say, what's good, what's good, what's good? It's Jason Reynolds. Welcome back to another edition of Right. All right, so this thing is the National Ambassador of Young People's Literature Medal. Let me see if I can put it at, boom, there it is. This is my jewelry, you know what I mean? I don't wear it very often, but this is my jewelry. And the reality is that they gave this to me basically because I love children, I love young people, and they were like, yo, this dude loves young people so much, he deserves an honor, right? We should give him a position where his job, a national position, is just to love on young people, especially as it pertains to literature. I mean, that's technically what it's about. So today, what I want y'all to do is make up an award for yourself, an honor for yourself. Make up a medal, right? Now, it can't actually exist in real life yet, right? So you can't be like, yo, I got like a Pulitzer Prize, I got a Nobel Peace Prize. Well, we know that that already exists, but you get to make up your own award, and you are given that award. And what I need you to do is figure out what the award is, what it's called, what's the criteria to receive this award, and why you feel like you deserve to get one. Make up your own jewelry, your own award, your own honor, and see what you come up with. Me, I'm probably gonna make up a new one, like, yo, I get some kind of award for being the best, like, couch napper. I'm nice on the couch. I'm like the illest couch napper ever. Bed sleeper, but couch napper, yo, you looking at the king. You feel me?
Okay, So what I would like us to do now is to think about an award that we want to give ourselves and answer that on this Padlet. So I've created a Padlet here, and I started us off with my award, and you can just kind of think of your award and then just some information about why you think you get that award. And I've just been really having a hard time not eating all the cookies I bake, but I have not ate all of them. So I gave myself an award for that. But if you have not used a Padlet, you can click here and it's going to give you a space on this line. What's really nice about this timeline feature Padlet is that everyone will have their own space, and as we're going through. And if you want to add a GIF, you can easily do that on the Padlet as well and just search for one that matches your award here. And then you can also title your award and then write why you think you deserve it. So I'll give everyone a little bit of time. This is always just really fun to see us celebrating ourselves and also doing it with students and just seeing what kind of award they think they deserve this year and just celebrating themselves as we're getting towards the end of 2020. And someone's asking, do we have to sign in? And we shouldn't. Oh, well, here we go. And I'm sorry, for some reason it changed my privacy policies. If you refresh, you should be able to get into it now. And I will put the link into the chat too. Oh, good. I see people are in now. I see Best Cat Mom, got all my Christmas shopping done early. Some great awards coming in. And this is always just fun to look through later. If you need a good laugh or just remembering. Eat a salad for lunch. Awesome. Many Hats Award, and I feel like a lot of us are getting that award this year. Perfect. So you want to just keep adding to your awards, and just a lot of great stuff in here. This always brings a smile to my face seeing these and just celebrating ourselves at the end of the year, cleaning all the things. That's a cute GIF too. Okay, so keep adding to your award, but just to show you this is a really quick activity. Some of the activities get a little more in depth, and I wanted to give you another example. So if you're still writing your award, please do that. But let's look at a virtual field trip example on WideOpenSchool. So one of my favorite things of this year is that a lot of parks and museums are now open, and they have a lot of great resources for students to learn. So on WideOpenSchool, there's an entire section about virtual field trips, and you can also see virtual field trips based on different grades. And one that I wanted to share with you today, just to show you that a lot of these resources have great content already created for you, is this one, Meet at the Met, and it's an interactive of the Met Museum. And if you go to here, it's going to show you that there's this map of all of these different pieces of art, and students can explore these. And as you're going through the tour, you can click on any of them and it will give you basically the actual piece of art. And then there's something that you can watch about that piece of art. There's also something you can discover further with it. You can also imagine, so you could do like a Padlet and have this question and have students, respond to this question or respond in the chat or respond individually, but there's already these activities created. And then there's even a create section for almost all of these different pieces of art that are within this museum tour. So this is just one example of one of the virtual field trips, but I just wanted to show you just how comprehensive some of these resources can get. Okay, So enough of me talking, just a review of some of the key features, and then we're going to actually take some time to explore and share some of the things that we like individually, and then also share things as a group, so we can look back at all the great resources that we found together. So just as a reminder, if you find a resource you like, just click on the heart, and that is actually going to save everything for you only on your browser, though, in your favorites. So you'll have a list of everything when you leave today, of all the things that you have favorited. Now, if you clear your history or use a different computer, since there's no login, this will no longer be there. But for today, you'll have your list that you can leave with today on your browser. And then I've already showed you how you can send it to text, email, or Google Classroom, but just as a reminder, you can do that as well as you're searching the site. So the next activity that I want us to do is just to take some time to explore WideOpenSchool. So explore the website and favorite activities that you could use in your role. So you might be favoring, up to 10, 20, depending on how much you get to explore during this time. And then I just want you to share one resource on this Padlet of how you could use that resource and with students. And this is just so that we will have like a collective of resources by grade level that we can go back to later. So on this Padlet, I have broken up things by like grades, and this was just to hope that with this many people on one Padlet, it wouldn't shift a lot. So it may apply to multiple grades, but if you could just find one grade that it most applies to, and then just say like could also use in other grades, that would be helpful too. And then I put the link on the Padlet to WideOpenSchool here, and then just an example of like sharing the resource and then how you could possibly use it from the Met Museum as well.
Barbara, we have a couple of questions in the chat. The first one is from Katie, and she's wondering if the links work in platforms like Canvas, or should they be done in a browser like Safari or on the iPad?
So I think if you link them, like if you actually provide the link, it should take you to that site in Canvas. We were trying to find like other ways to integrate into other LMSs, and some of them it's been a little difficult. So some may be getting added, additional, like how it says share to Google Classroom. We're trying to like see if there's other ways to make it easier to share to like Canvas and other learning management systems too.
Awesome. And we had another similar question from Erin. She was wondering if we can receive the link to an activity and attach it to Schoology, or does it only work with Google Classroom?
So Schoology, I know we were trying to link, and I'm not sure. I think there's something in the way, and I'm sorry, I can, if you email me, I can give you some more details. I don't know all the technical details for Schoology, but it might be easier if you have it like on a separate document and then they go out for Schoology.
Great, thank you. That answered those questions.
Great. And if anyone else has any questions as we're exploring, because I know it's kind of a little bit of downtime, I'll be looking in the chat as well. And then feel free to raise your hand if you want to use your voice and ask a question too. And I see that Jason added some tips for Schoology. Thanks, Jason, in the chat to just make sure that you don't use the link in the frame. So thank you, Jason.
Barbara, there was a question about the virtual field trips. It said, where are the virtual field trips again?
Yeah, so on the site, if you're under student activities and you scroll down, you will see virtual field trips. And I'll add the direct link into the chat as well. And then I also see there's a question where it says if it's interactive. So if you click here, you'll see like a menu bar here, and then you click on the ones that are interactive, and then it will filter out the interactive virtual field trips. You also want to make sure you're clicking on your grade band, because sometimes it filters out directly to like grades 3 to 5 or maybe 6 to 8, but just make sure you're clicking on the grade band that applies to you and then click on interactive. Okay, so I know that was not nearly enough time, but hopefully you found at least one resource that you can use and that you're excited about using. But just remember that you can go back to Wide Open School and new resources are being added. And there's also just like a plethora of things to help support your students this year. So the next slides, I just wanted to share a few additional resources that are available on Wide Open School. And I'm not going to go through these a lot, just given our time, but all of the information is on the slide. So on Wide Open School, there's some additional things like a family and teacher center that has like professional development, advice and how-tos for parents, especially using specific tools or like learning management systems. So there's like a how-to guide on Zoom or Google Classroom, and just really helpful things for parents. So you can find those on the Family Teacher Center here. And then there's additional resource libraries as well. And then there is a daily plan, which you might have noticed as you were checking out Wide Open School, that has like up to 2 weeks of plans by grade band that includes like an entire daily schedule that students can work through on their own. This is great to show families, especially as we're getting into a winter break and they may be working from home, and just show them like, here are some great activities by each day of the week. With screen breaks and just a balanced approach to content. And then finally, we do have new winter break activities that might be really fun to do with your students, or do them with your family at home, or send them out to your family. So I put the link directly to those winter break activities on this slide, but you can also find them on Wide Open School under the Holiday Gratitude bucket, which is directly linked on this slide as well. And then if you want to like a refresher on this, that's really quick. This is a 4-minute video that will show you how to use Wide Open School that you can share with your colleagues and or your families. And it's directly linked here, but it's also on Wide Open School as well. And that's it. So I'll take any other questions. If anyone has any other questions today, I just want to thank you all for joining me. Hopefully you found a resource that gets you excited for the remainder of the year. And I do have a separate survey. If you have a minute to take that, it's linked on the slide. And then that's it. I'll just stick around if anyone has any other questions. And I've also put my email in the chat if you need to reach out about anything specific. I'm happy to help. So just put my email in the chat. It's bhuth@commonsense.org. So thank you all so much. And yes, I saw a link to the video. I'll put that in the chat as well.
Thank you so much, Barbara. And I have also linked in the chat to the Discord. I hope everybody's having a great conference. There's a lot of chatter happening. We're using Discord as our back channel area, where beyond these individual Zoom sessions, you can continue to have conversations with other folks. So I hope that you all will take advantage of that. Thank you for joining today. And I'll go ahead and stop the recording, and have a great rest of the conference.
Thanks all.